guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's Jess. Today I have quite a big-ish book haul for you. I bought a couple of books during the week and ordered some online from Amazon Marketplace, some on Book Depository, some from a local discounted bookstore here in Dublin. So yeah, it's gonna be kind of a longish video, so I'm just gonna jump right in with the books. The first book I have is Luckiest Girl Alive by Jessica Knoll. Is that what I'm saying right? Don't know too much about this book, apart from it's something to do with a school and a really bad incident. I'd read the back for you, but that'd take quite a long time. I'll even read the little short blurb. When the documentary producer invites Annie to tell her side of the chilling and violent incident that took place when she was a teenager at the prestigious Bradley School, she hopes it will present an opportunity to prove how far she's turned her life around since then. She'll even let the production company film her lavish wedding, the final step in her transformation. But as the wedding and filming converge, Annie's immaculate veneer starts to crack. Will breaking her silence destroy all that she's worked for, or will it at long last set her free? It sounds really good. It sounds kind of thrillery. I have seen a lot of reviews on it. I've seen a lot of reviews on it, and yeah, I can't wait to read it. And the next book I ordered online from Amazon Marketplace, which said it was like brand new condition, but it came and it was in really bad condition, so I got a refund for it and I was told to keep the book. So it's still readable, it's just really bad. And that is True Stories, Monster Horror and Ghost True Horror Stories. Three terrifying books in one by Terry Dearies. You can see it's really discoloured, has some bent pages, the ends of it are really badly bent. Yeah, it's still readable, but I love horror reads. Three stories. A werewolf terrorizes a woman in an isolated cottage. After a terrible massacre within its walls, an ordinary home becomes a haunted house of horror. And then thirdly, the ghost of a murdered girl takes revenge on her killer. So I think they're kind of middle grade horror stories. I'm not too sure on that. And I think this means it's either a skill book or a library book. But yeah, that's that one. I then have We All Looked Up. I got it to them on Book Depository. I think it's basically about the end of the world, about how people deal with it. I can read the back of it. They said it would be here in 2 months. They gave us 2 months to leave our labels behind. 2 months to become something bigger than what we've been. Something that would last even after the end. 2 months is really to live. So yeah, sounds really good. I've seen a lot of people rave about it, so I thought I'd give it a go. I don't like knowing too much, as I said before, going into books. It's like kind of, if I hear good feedback about them, that's it. That's all I need to know. I'll decide myself then. I then got my first V.E. Schwab book, Vicious. I know this is magical realism. I think it's magical realism. Is that this one? Yeah, superpowers. Something along them lines. I've never read a V.E. Schwab book. Still have Book Depository in it. I have read a Victoria Schwab. Her other book, The Archived. Hate it. She writes under Victoria when she's doing YA, and these are her adult books. I read The Archived by Victoria Schwab, and I absolutely hated it. It was so boring. It has to be one of the most boring books I've ever read. I was so excited about it, like a library of souls basically, and it was so boring. Nothing happened. That one did happen. It was like rushed. It was like it's like she was writing to, oh, better give some action here and like just throw in a random scene that made no sense to the plot, and then it was back to like just monologuing every little thing they were doing, and it was just, it dragged on and on and on and on. But I've seen people rave and rave and rave about this book, so I thought I'd give it a try. If I don't like this, I'm not open anymore of a book, so I don't like a writing style in this kind of concept, but yeah, I'll give it a go. I then have I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson, which is kind of a big-ish book. I haven't read a Jandy Nelson book. I have a other one, Where Sky Meets Sea, is it? No. Skies Everywhere. Sky, that's the one. Skies Everywhere. Yeah, Skies Everywhere. I have that book. Haven't read it yet. I like the premise of her books, but I'm trash when it comes to like buying authors. Buy more than one book by an author, and I haven't even read the first book I've bought by the author. I'm just trash for that kind of thing. So yeah, I thought I'd have the two of them. If I really like either one of them, I can just binge into the next one. I then have Flawed by Cecilia Ahern. And for anyone questioning how to pronounce the name, it's Ahern, not Ahern, it's Ahern. It's the Irish way of saying it. I've read a lot. I've read most of Cecilia Ahern's adult books and absolutely loved them. Yeah, so I think this is one of our first YA books, and I just thought to give it a try because supporting Irish authors and all that. Yeah, I loved that. Like, P.S. I Love You was one of my least favourites, of course. The Gift. Oh my god, The Gift. If you've never read a Cecilia Ahern book, please read The Gift by her. It's absolutely amazing. It's a kind of Christmassy read, so maybe it's the wrong time of year since you've just finished Christmas, you kind of got that out of the way. But if you ever had a chance, if you see it in a what's it called, a charity shop, a discounted bookshop, pick it up. It's absolutely amazing. It's a really small book. It's a really quick read, but I really recommend it. So yeah, I thought I'd give this a try since I love Cecilia Ahern. I then have Witch Hunter by Virginia Bowaker. Really bad at pronouncing names. Yeah, it's basically about a witch, as in the name. I'll read it back at you. Elizabeth Grey may look harmless, but don't let that fool you. She can take out 5 necromancers with a single sword. Jesus, I can't read. With a single sword and slay a wizard at 50 paces. Accused of witchcraft, but when she's found carrying witches' herbs, she's thrown in jail with no chance of escape. Only magic which she's fought against all her life can save her. Rescued by an enemy, now with Elizabeth's chance of survival in the very hands of those she's been trained to fight, she faces an impossible choice: magic or murder. It sounds really good. I love witch-y books. So yeah, this is basically an impulse buy. It was cheap on Book Depository, so just added it to the basket just to check out with it. And it has for fans of Sarah J Maas and Holly Black, and I love both those authors at the moment, so yeah, got that one. I then got Secret by Lindsay Smith. What I'm getting from this is kind of Russian-y wartime vibes. That's what I'm getting, like KGB, wartime, Russian spies, which really sounds interesting. It's like something I've never read before, so be interesting to read. I've seen people absolutely love this book or really hate it, so I'm hoping I'll be one of the latter few who really love it. So yeah. I then have Queen of the Tearling by Erica Johansson. It's basically a fantasy book. I'm not a big fantasy lover, even though I buy a lot of them. I'm yet to find a fantasy series that I absolutely adore. That's like Robin Hobb. I love Robin Hobb, but I'm willing to try other authors to find another fantasy. I like fantasy movies. I like fantasy TV shows, comic books, but like it needs to be a really gripping book to catch me because it's so compact, dense, and world building that I need good action to keep me kind of interested. Like The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, really not my cup of tea. I read the whole book. I bought the second book. I'm gonna give it a try, but I literally pulled my hair out reading that book. It took me forever to get through it. So yeah, this is basically a high fantasy book. It was in 1930 that the soldiers came for Khaleesi Glynn. They came to escort her back to the palace, place her for buried, and to ensure she survives long enough to take possession of what is rightfully hers. So yeah, that's that book. And next I have a Colleen Hoover book, November 9. I think this is one of the only Colleen Hoover books I have not read yet. Don't know much about this, but Colleen Hoover is just one of my auto-buy authors. No matter what she reads, I absolutely love. I stumbled upon Hopeless one day in a charity shop. I read it and then I was like, oh my god, who is this author? Then I googled and I realised she had like so much more. Like I had like, at the time, this was a couple of years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago, I hadn't really heard much about Colleen Hoover, but then since then I bought all the books, and this is the last one that I have yet to read. I've read all of the books that have been out. This is my last one to read, so don't know much about going into it, but then again I don't really like to. So yeah, that's that one. I have 3 box sets, but I'm going to leave them to last. I then have Outliers by Kimberly McCreight. It's basically about a world, I think it's dystopian set kind of. It's basically about a world where everyone around you can see into your mind, you can see into everyone's mind. I think that's what it is. Imagine if you could see inside the minds of everyone around you, your best friend, your boyfriend and your enemies. Imagine how valuable you'd be. Imagine how much danger you'd be in. Imagine being an outlier. Oh, okay. So she's the type of person that not everyone can, but there is people that can do that, and she's one of them, I suppose. Wiley has, yeah, I think that's what it is. Sounds really good. It reminds me of Patrick Ness, The Knife of Letting Go, which I absolutely loved. I read like the 3 of them back to back and absolutely adored them. So yeah, that's that one. Then this has been on my wish list on Amazon forever. It's been on my wish list on Amazon since I started reading, which was about 7 years ago. And finally I found it at a cheap price, brand new, so I said I'd buy it. And that is Battle Royale by Kushan Takami. I think that's how you read it. Translated by Yuji Onaki. That's how I'm thinking to pronounce some names. Not too sure. It reminds me, it's kind of like a Japanese version of the Hunger Games, but it's absolutely huge and it has like really small writing. I'll read the back of it for anyone that hasn't heard of it. It's Battle Royale. Kushan Takami's notorious high-octane thriller envisions a nightmare scenario of class of junior high students who was taken to a deserted island where, as part of ruthless authoritarian, I can't pronounce that word, program, they are provided arms and forced to kill until one survivor is left standing. Criticised as violently explosive when first published in Japan, where it became a runaway bestseller, Battle Royale is a Lord of the Flies for the 24th century, a potent allegory of what it means to be a young and barely alive in a dog-eat-dog world. So yeah, I'm kind of getting, like I said, Lord of the Flies, Hunger Games kind of vibes of this one, and it's absolutely yours, so can't wait to read this one. Then I picked this up at a discounted bookstore because I love the movies and I'm trash. That is Jaws by Peter R. Benchley. I have read Jaws before. I've seen all the movies obviously. But when I seen this cover, hardback, brand new, I think it was like €3, which is really, like, that's, you wouldn't even get a paperback here for that price. So yeah, this is throwing my life balance off. Yeah. Everyone knows what Jaws is about. I don't need to tell you about a shark. You don't need to tell you. But it looks really pretty on my bookshelf. The spine is amazing. So yeah. Now on to my last, I'd say 3 books, but it's 3 box sets, so it's like 12 books. I can't add. Yeah, 12. So the fourth box set is the Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson, and this is the mass paperback version of the books, which, come on, I wasn't going to spend like €40 on like 3 books when I can get like the 3 of them for like, I think it was like €15. Come on, common sense. As I said, I'm not a huge fantasy reader, so I'm not going to splurge on like the really pretty covers unless I know I'm going to love it. And if they're cheap, I'll get them, but if, at the moment these were like really cheap, I just really wanted to read them to get started on them, figure out if I was into them. So yeah, these will do. And it's Mistborn, The Well of Ascension and The Hero of Aegis. They are like the tiniest writing I've ever seen. So I will definitely need my glasses for this one. I then got one of my favourites. I read the 4th book in this series, trilogy, and I've loved it. It's been one of my childhood favourites, so I seen this box set and I just have to have it. And that is the Inkheart trilogy in my favourite covers. They've redone these covers apparently, and they're really not as nice as the older ones. So we have Inkheart, Inkspell, and Inkdeath, which is like absolutely huge. I've never read the second and the 4th book in this trilogy. I just loved Inkheart when I was a kid, so I seen the trilogy and thought I'd give it a try. Everyone knows what Inkheart is about, I think, but if you don't, it's about a guy who, when he reads aloud, he can bring characters from the books that he's reading from into reality. But it goes bad for him, and his wife is taken into one of the books, and he spends his life basically trying to find the book she was taken into, because apparently all the copies were burned or they were lost. I can't really remember, but yeah, that's basically what it's about. And finally, my last box set is one that I'm sure everyone has read, but I've never read it, because by the time all 6 books were released, I kind of had lost my interest in this genre. But I've seen the 6 of them for really cheap and thought I would get them. And that is the Vampire Academy series, which is Vampire Academy, Frostbite, Shadow Kiss, Blood Promise, Spirit Bound, and Last Sacrifice. I'm not going to take them all out because it's like a nightmare getting them back in, because it's in a really tight box, which I prefer to keep them clean and not dusty. I think everyone knows what Vampire Academy is about. I've never read them, so I can't pretend to know what I'm talking about when it comes to the series, so I'm not going to. So yeah, that was my first half of my book haul, because I'm going to film my Kindle book haul now for the month of January, because I have bought a ridiculous amount of Kindle books in the last 2 weeks, so I'm going to film a separate video for that one. So this is the first half of my January book haul, and I hope you all enjoyed it. Please feel free to comment and to like it and subscribe. See you all soon.